Hello. I've been thinking about one of the writing exercises I gave yesterday as a way of starting a new book that you don't know exists yet. In other words, starting from almost nothing apart from what's in your subconscious mind. And I've been not exactly regretting it, but thinking there's more to be said, because I'm very aware that nothing can appear very differently to different people. For some, it's going to be exciting and full of possibility, and for others, it's just going to be plain terrifying. I don't want to make you think that if you can't go into a bookshop and can't find where you imagine a book would be that you might write, that that's a bad thing necessarily. I love genre writing, I love science fiction, I love crime, but I also love what you could call non-generic writing, or writing where a book is the only one of its sort. And I would always encourage writers to try and write towards something that they don't necessarily think exists already, even if they are writing in a clear genre, a detective novel with a troubled detective in midlife who is drawn into a case which stirs up lots of personal stuff from their history, to do something with it that the writer, hasn't seen done before, that they think is missing. The writing manual I'm aiming to put together is about learning from other writers, and one of the ones that I've learned from the most is Henry James. He wrote in a short story called The Middle Years, from his own middle years, something that's very famous as a quote about writing, but I think is often not really read hard enough or understandingly enough. It starts, "We work in the dark, we do what we can, we give what we have. Our doubt is our passion, and our passion is our task. The rest is the madness of art." I think what people pick from that is often we give what we can, or the passion of art. But today I'm thinking about we work in the dark, and that seems to me a really descriptive statement, a really true and painful description of how opening drafts can sometimes feel, that we are more like miners who've gone down perhaps unprepared, or our lamp's gone out, and we are somehow feeling our way in a space that is completely unfamiliar. We're trying to move forwards through it, or we're trying to escape from it, and it is in the dark. Our workplace is in the dark. For me, this is one of the privileges of writing a novel, writing a long novel that you don't necessarily show to other people as you're going along. Sometimes I think of it as going round the dark side of the moon. You're cut off, you're in the shadow, you're out of radio contact, and no one knows what you're doing. Now, obviously with astronauts, there's usually 3 of them, and they're probably chatting to one another and smelling one another's farts, but the idea of being in space, being isolated and being cut off from everyone else because they don't know what you're up to, that's very rare. Most people are overseen, most people have line managers, and there are writers who send their editors what they've done that day at the end of the day, and they have constant communication. But with quite a few of the things I've written, until I've handed it over to someone and said, is this a thing at all, I haven't known, and I've worked by myself, and I've worked in the dark. If that's where you are, and you're finding that extremely scary, then I would say you have to accept that this is part of the before writing stage. This isn't drafting as such, and it's hard to give advice on being lost apart from having to accept it. It's hard to counsel someone on what to do about being in the dark, apart from to say that you will come out of it, and that you only genuinely learn things from genuinely not having known them in the first place. You can fake revelations and you can fake for yourself discoveries, but that absolute feeling of not knowing what's going on can very often be the start point for something that you didn't think you were capable of. I hope this has been useful, and please like, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you in a couple of days.